Well, everything was lower on Monday in the commodities sector with the exception of corn. Mike Zuzolo is joining us with analysis. Corn saw a little pop. Was that all short covering, Mike?
I think between the Brazilian harvest still really far behind last year, Agro putting it at 40% versus I think 74% a year ago at this time. July futures expiring with July finding, I think, some short covering, as you note, on very thin volume, but probably because of the WASDE report. But that made the spreads tighten up a little bit with that 412 expiration price. I think we also had some pretty decent weekly export inspections. And so corn tended to stray away from the nervousness of the 30% Mexico and 30% Canadian tariff news.
Soybeans and wheat were lower, though. So were they trading the tariff news, the sanction news? What?
Yeah, I think wheat was very closely tied to Russia. We went home on the weekend thinking that President Trump was going to make a pretty big announcement on Monday. The Senate bill's got a big Russian sanctions bill. I think it's 100%, if I remember right. That's going to be energy, but I also see agriculture products in that bill as well. So it felt like when the president delayed that sanctions notification another 50 days, when crude oil took a dive and went from $2 higher to $1 plus lower, that seemed to really impact the wheat quite a bit.
And then that pulled soybeans down too, you think?
I think so, but I think soybeans maybe a little bit more like corn. The trade maybe went back and reflected upon the USDA report, noticed the July beans expiring pretty soft. November beans following, and we're below $10 now on July expiration. How do you get around that record world ending stocks number?
Cattle saw a pretty good setback on Monday. Mike, was that just routine profit taking?
I hope so, but I didn't like the WASDE numbers too much, Michelle. The USDA came in with the idea that we're going to bring in a lot of placements in the second half of this calendar year. That's going to pump up 26 beef production, commercial production up 540 million pounds.
Thanks so much, Mike Zuzolo, Global Commodity Analytics. We'll have more Ag Day coming up.
Watch Markets Now with Michelle Rook on the Farm Journal YouTube channel, keeping you updated throughout the day on the markets at the open, midday, and close. Find out what moved the markets today and what to expect the market to do next.